Und Kollegen, herzlich willkommen, a very warm welcome. The BMW Berlin-Marathon is about to finish, and actually these colleagues here and the athletes in the back, they are already in the finish line. They've crossed the finish line already, whilst most of the others are still on the way. With respect to our international colleagues, we decided to start the press conference in English, whereas we're going to go on in German later on and going to have a direct translation service from our colleague Andy, who's going to be here later on when the runners are coming. So I hope everybody is fine. Otherwise, just give me a note and we'll try to give you a translation service first. But now to the athletes here. Marcel Hug is here first on the wheelchair division. And Marcel, give us an impression, what was it like for the restart to run and go for the marathon again in the year 2021 after the break?
Yeah, it definitely felt great to be back here in Berlin and to restart all the marathon series. Yeah, it was great to be at the start line. I really enjoyed the atmosphere. Yeah, I was just enjoying.
Together with Marcel Hug, the winner, we have here Daniel Romanchuk on place 2, and our here in Berlin, best known and known from the other years, Brad. How was it for you here to be again in Berlin? Perhaps Daniel, you first, and what was your impression from the race today?
Yeah, it was great. Great day out today. Nice weather. And overall, just happy to get back into racing, like Marcel said. It's been a while, so just happy to be back.
Yeah. Brett, how about you? Did you win the third place, or would you like to have be a bigger contender for the others?
Of course, it would be nice to be closer to Marcel and Daniel.
Yeah.
For me, it was a little tough day, but as everybody has said, it's really nice that the Abbott series is continuing.
Absolutely.
And Berlin is obviously a fabulous course. Lots of spectators, a great day. So we were really enjoying to be able to participate in a race again.
Yeah, okay. Just to give you a hint, of course, you please put your questions, just raise a hand, and then we'll come with a microphone to you and give you the chance to put your questions. And Errol is there. Join us on the stage, Errol. Because maybe Errol can also explain by himself, but as we have not all the athletes here, Errol as the respondent for the management of the handbikers and the wheelchair athletes from SCC events, he's the one who can give us some impressions from the race today. But maybe first, again, Marcel, what was the race going on? You broke away quite early, the race I saw.
Yeah, it was quite early. I was surprised, to be honest, to break away early. So first we were three guys together, working very well together. And then I'm not sure, about after 7K or something, there was a little downhill, and then there was a gap between Daniel and I. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I thought I tried to break away, but the gap wasn't getting bigger for the first kilometers. So it was difficult, I think, for both of us. In the mind, so but yeah, after a while the gap was getting bigger and bigger, and then.
But it was a long time then in the lead for you, right?
It was a long time in the lead, and I tried to keep my pace, and yeah.
Daniel, did you speculate that he would get weak in the end and you could pass him?
Yeah. So. As he mentioned, after about 7K or so, there, a slight downhill, and he kind of separated a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just tried to minimize my losses at that point, because I know he's a very strong racer out in the front. Going back to 2019 in Oita, him and Tomoki, they broke off the front, and. So yeah, I'm overall happy to be where I am today.
Yeah, yeah. Brett, you talked of some problems. What happened to you? You were not totally satisfied today, right?
No, I'm not sure what the problem was today. I go faster than this in training, and Berlin is a much nicer course, so today I expected to go much faster. And yeah, like Marcel said, I started out, we were going very fast, and I just could not maintain the pace today.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you in a minute, but first we want to talk to Errol and talked about the hand cycles. And Errol, will you talk in German or
English is okay.
English is okay? Okay, if everybody's fine, then we just go in English. But I see also our colleague Andy is already there, so we're going to have the press conference later in German. So Errol, tell us about the hand cycles race. What happened?
Well, a lot of things happened today. First of all, it was a brilliant day, and yeah, the bikes, as you can see, they go very, very fast. And I see here 3 great individuals that are racing each other in the hand cycles. Today we had the situation that we had a team of 5 very strong from the same team, and of course they wanted to break the course record, which you cannot do every day, and today the weather was there, everything was there. So the tactics is well done the night before, but then it comes to realization. And in realization, it looks a little bit different because there's more people on the road, and yeah, you have to get your act together. You have to get in the right position. Drafting is a big theme here, and finally, the 3 guys that wanted to break the record, they were going with each other, but they did not have the same level of energy. So then they were waiting a little bit for the 3rd one, hoping for him to recover because they may need him on the Wild Eber, that little uphill there. So that did cost a little bit of time. And then at kilometer 12, I got to know that there was a bus crossing the street, invited by the police to do so. So the whole group came to a full stop.
Oh, no way. I didn't.
And they had to start again. No accident, nothing. It was probably some miscommunication. So the guys are very unhappy. Because it's like you go into the red zone, and you go into the black zone, and then
that's something
then you realize in 1 second, shoot, the record is out of reach. But then they got the act so together that they at least made a triple podium for the team. So they should be happy, and I'm always telling them, look, there's more important things than breaking records. All of them are very young, so may they come back and do it at another spot.
As we know, their spirit is very good and very high. They definitely going to come back. Did you feel very much the wind today, Marcel?
No, it was not so much wind. The weather conditions were nearly perfect. So yeah, it was not too much wind today.
Well, one aspect I want to mention here, because it's very special for the sports world in this year, because you guys, you are going to compete in the World Marathon Majors and in the upcoming races, which is, Delia, help me, you'll be traveling to London tomorrow, then Chicago, Boston, and then finally New York. So within the next, how many weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Something like that.
You're going to have like 4 major events, and I mean, just stupid question, but how do you do that, Daniel?
Just recover as fast as you can. A few of us are doing it, so we're all in the same boat as far as that's concerned. But yeah, just trying to fuel well between the races and get into as much sleep as we can. Just go from there.
Marcel, what is your secret weapon? Is it Swiss chocolate, or how do you?
Yeah, it's a mix of Swiss chocolate and Swiss cheese, and
No, but this is, I mean, it's an important factor, right? You have to recarbohydrate really well. You have to get the sleep. You have the time lag, and that's the thing. I mean, we should talk about that later and how you cope with it. That's going to be something. So, and one guy I also want to mention, because the 20-time winner of the wheelchair race was today in the race as well, but not in the wheelchair
No, he started in the handbike today. We are talking about the legend Heinz Frey.
Heinz Frey, 20
Yeah.
times winner.
And he managed to stay with the group for 5K. But I mean, Heinz is Heinz.
Heinz.
You have to take him serious, and everybody took him serious.
Yeah.
So they were trying to leave him, and they succeeded. I think don't have the actual list seen yet, but I think he comes in at 10 or something.
Eighth place.
Eighth place.
Eighth
I mean,
so just
the guy is-
how old? 64 years, right?
no, he's 63.
63.
I know it so good because I'm 64 the same day.
Okay. So thank you very much for coming here, and get a good rest. Get a good rest, and hope to see you back here in Berlin Racing next year. And all the best for the World Marathon Major Series. And good success for that. Thanks for coming here. And as next, we also we have the two wheelchair ladies, and we have Manuela Scheer. I saw her coming in. She not? Oh, she's still there. But who do we have actually? I have just only this. We have
Manuela.
definitely Merle Menje, and I see Manuela, right?
Yep.
So join us here on the podium.
Tatjana.
And Tatjana. Sorry, Tatjana, I forget to mention your name. So thanks for coming, guys. Thank you. Have a good rest. So we have Tatjana McFadden, second in the women's wheelchair race. We have Merle Menje, fourth place, and marathon debutant. And we have Manuela Scheer from Switzerland, winner of the BMW Berlin Marathon this year. Congratulations to you, all the three of you. And just one hand side, because of course, shall we go on in English, or Andy, still we switch to German now, as we have to, we shall switch. Okay.
We're just switching back to English. We're going to conduct this women's wheelchair marathon, and on the stage now, Urs Weber, our MC, and that is on the right of the stage is Manuela Scheer from Switzerland, who won the title today. Merle Menje, who made a great marathon debut at the age of 17. Merle Menje, also from Berlin. And Tatjana McFadden, very experienced from the USA, who was second today. So Manuela, the winner today in BMW Berlin Marathon. Well, what was it like, Manuela, once again to be on the start line of the great marathons? And Manuela says it was a fantastic feeling at last, once again, to be able to get out there and push. Obviously, you've been having training and test outings for this race, but how was it in comparison with 2 years ago? Oh, Manuela says, I could get in a lot of good training in the last year or so with the pandemic, nonetheless. In fact, I don't think I've ever had so many training days as in the last 2 years, because I wasn't having to travel. Well, so I felt I was in really good shape from the training. But at the same time, you don't really have an accurate gauge of your form because you're not doing races. Yeah, and that's, of course, we had Tokyo, the Paralympics, where Manuela got the silver medal in the Paralympics. So the Paralympics were clearly a very good indication of my form. Und Merle, congratulations, Merle. Merle's in the middle of this trio. 4th place on her marathon debut. She said she'd always dreamt of doing the marathon, and now she has. I think that I did a good time, and I really enjoyed the experience. So we'll come back to you, Merle. So Merle was doing the track events in the Paralympics. So Tatjana,
And here in Berlin, coming back to Berlin and see the streets of Berlin again. How was your race?
It was amazing. I'm thankful for Berlin for bringing me back. I feel like I broke the Berlin spell, so I'm so excited. It was really good to be back and racing again. I'm an athlete that really thrives on competition, so when COVID hit and we didn't have a lot of track meets leading up to Tokyo, it was really hard for me. And same with the marathons. We haven't raced in about 2 years for marathons, so I'm the type of athlete that likes consistency with competition, and so it was really great to be back today. I felt like, well, one, the weather was beautiful. In Tokyo,
Yeah.
we didn't have such beautiful weather. But I met all my goals today, which was really good in racing. And so I was really happy with that. And I'll take the lessons I learned today and head over to London. And I feel like I'm doing the world tour of marathons this year and like the European tour, because I'm going to London on Tuesday. So I'm really excited to be racing again. I couldn't ask for a better day.
Which races are you gonna follow for you? So London for sure, yeah.
Yeah, London for sure, and then I'll do Chicago, and then fly that day.
Wow.
So hopefully I'll be in one piece because Manuel's going to be in Boston, and then I'll race Boston, finish up with New York. So I decided to do that. I sat down and talked to my coach after Tokyo, and we thought it's a good idea or not. He said it's a good idea. I mean, one, it's the first time in history that it will ever happen, and it won't happen again. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna take on this challenge and really learn a lot until the end of the year and get the thrive of competing back and that excitement and that travel and learn the new norm.
What a switch, right? Like through the COVID time and now.
So excited though. Yeah.
Exciting. Manuela was saying that she had so many training, or never has as many training days as in the COVID time. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was tougher. It was definitely tougher. I think the hardest part for me was definitely the gym, because you had to be inside your home. So strength-wise, that was what I'm going to be working up for the next year and after the following year as well, to focus on Paris. And yeah, I was really lucky to be in Florida where I got outside, but it was still quite different because we didn't have everything.
Okay. Yeah, great to have you here again.
Thank you.
And Merle, wir müssen noch mal jetzt dich erstmal.
so Merle, I feel like some of our media colleagues don't know so much about you because you're still a newcomer at the age of 17 in this sport. So yes, Merle looks back and says, well, this year began with the European Championships, and then really quite out of the blue, I didn't expect it, but I got selected for the Paralympics. And the longest distance, this was on the track, of course, she competed in Paralympics was 5,000 meters. So I think I'm getting experience from the track, and I'm still very much learning about road racing and of course the marathon. And of course it was clear to me my other competitors had more experience than I did. But big learning curve for me. So if anybody does have questions, then please just raise your hands and our microphone will come to you. So, same with Merle, how did the process of the race go for you? Do you have to learn how you refuel during the race and what the tactics are of this long race? To be honest, I went into the race with not really high hopes, low expectations. So for the first half, so at 15 kilometers, she remembers Manuela Scher had kind of moved away a little, and then she came back to us. So she was getting experience of being in a group. And then there was Shelley Woods of Britain. So it's an international field around her. That was your time for fourth place. Was that what you'd hoped for? So actually, my aim was to get under 2 hours, to be honest. And then in the race, I think, well, can I get under 150, and then to get well under 2 hours was really delighted with that. So Manuela, share, when did you do your first marathon? Well, I was a long time a track performer, so I came to the marathon late compared to Merle. How many have you done? Well, normally we do all 6 of the World Marathon Majors marathons. So what do you plan to do this year? So I'm doing London, Manuela said, and Boston, and New York. New York will be my last race. But it's also important to remember that the Paralympics in Tokyo, that takes something out of you. So you've got to allow for that. And the travel, the time changes, that all demands energy. So you have to allow for that. Also, ever putting the question, well, what role do the hygiene regulations play for you? It's clearly you've got to do a lot more organization before a trip, getting your tests done, your jabs. So it's really quite complicated. And also the aspect that you don't know when it's all going to end, how long all this will last. And then everything you need to do for your return journey as well. I'm very happy with both my win and my time. It was a great group, and we all worked together and contributed to the race.
Was it that aim what you tried to achieve? Or was it the time you tried to reach?
Yeah, today was a really good time. It was another PB for me, so that was really good.
Okay.
Faster than Tokyo, which would be expected because it was raining there. So yeah, like I said earlier, I reached all my goals, and it was a pretty good time. It was a little bit windy unexpectedly, I think, in some areas, and then some areas surprised me where it wasn't as windy, so you were able to pick up a little bit more speed. So I think it evened out for the time pretty well.
Okay. Also, with our young colleague Merle here on the stage, what is your favorite course from the World Marathon Majors? Do you have a most popular one, Tatjana?
Most popular marathon?
Yeah, for you personally?
I love flat courses or really hilly courses. It has to be like one or the other. Flat courses can be fun because people can stay in a group a lot longer. But I also love climbing. So going to like Boston and New York, where it's very extreme up and down, I really enjoy that.
Okay. Manuela, gibt es bei dir da so Prioritäten? Freust du dich ganz besonders auf ein Rennen oder auch, weil das deiner Renntaktik entgegenkommt? Oder?
Manuela. Manuela was saying, well, when I began getting into marathons, I preferred flat courses. But since then, I've got a lot stronger. So, I like to feel that I'm good I can cope with any kind of course. So I know what Tatiana was saying, that New York is quite hilly, quite up and down, quite a challenging course. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much for all of you. So congratulations to everybody, and a special congratulations to Melamenia for such an impressive debut in the marathon.
Alles Gute für die weiteren spannenden Wochen, für die weiteren Rennen. Merle, für dich auch. Für dich jetzt erstmal.
Merle? And Merle tomorrow will be back in school. Oh, no, correction, sorry. She's off traveling to London. So we are going to be having the next press conference very soon. It's going to be the men's, well, we're starting with Philipp Flieger. So the men's press conference is about to get underway.
Die Kollegen möchten mit ihren Masken mal anziehen. Ich kriege das hier nicht durch. Kannst du das mal sagen?
And we're shortly going to be having an interview on stage with Philipp Flieger. That is the plan. We're just changing the stage somewhat.
Bilder schon hier und ich höre auch.
And we have race director Mark Milder. And the men's champion has just walked in to the press conference room, Gia Adola. So we're just going a few furnishing changes before we resume.
Das kann ich nehmen. Ne? Wie wird er ausgesprochen? Jegon? Jegon, ne? Jetzt mal, ne? Okay. so vacant.
So we're just we're just getting our guests on stage wired up and ready for the next stage of our press conference.
Want a direct translation service? We have our colleague Andy Edwards here, and he's going to translate for you into English if we're talking here in German on stage. Und ein Hinweis noch in eigener Sache, wir sind natürlich gehalten an die Hygieneregeln, also deswegen bitte ich auch zu akzeptieren, dass wir auch im Raum hier die Masken tragen müssen, sofern wir nicht hier als die Getesteten auf dem Podium sind. Deswegen würde ich bitten, dann auch im Raum hier die Maske zu tragen. Wurden wir vom Hotel auch daran erinnert, dass die
So just to note that simultaneous translation is available to you, so that whatever language, German or English, is being spoken on stage, you can hear the other language in your headphones. Just please raise your hand and one of the SCC events staff will come to you with a set of headphones. We're just getting our next guests wired up, and that includes race director Mark Milder. And indeed, in the audience already, and that front row, Guy Adola, who had a sensational win today, winning the men's title after second place 4 years ago.
Marc, komm gerne zu mir hier hoch.
So, Mark Miller, the race director of the BMW Berlin Marathon, now on stage with the presenter Urs Weber. So, of course, it must be a big relief for you and everybody concerned to have this race getting underway. This joy and relief to be able to run and compete again. It's almost overwhelming. What was it like for you? Now, Mark Milder saying, yeah, pretty much how I felt today. And everything building to this head. Well, of course, yesterday we had the inline skater marathon making their comeback race, and now today, Hamburgers, Rollies and runners. Of course, we had hopes of a big record, a world record, but that turned out not to be. But frankly, it turned out to be an extraordinary day all round. Fascinating race and around 25,000 finishers. But for everybody who took part in working on the race, of course it was a big day. Of course there were changes like having to wear masks and social distancing and all the COVID protocol you observed, but it was a fantastic day. I was Weber making the point, it really struck by how disciplined the participants were, how they behaved in the starting area, the finish area, everybody showing a lot of consideration for others. Mark Milder paying tribute to everybody who participated, saying everybody was really paying heed to the regulations, the hygiene concept, and following it. And it shows that we can do this and go on to do it and expand, and however the future turns out, what we've done today is possible for the future. And from what I saw on the course, along the route, I think meaning spectators, not so many masks, but people were keeping a distance and behaving sensibly. And also they were saying, well, the message going out from Berlin today is that events like this, mass events, can go ahead. A message going out around the world, providing you're observing all the hygiene regulations, it is possible. And of course, the BMW Berlin Marathon now, with today, has become the biggest marathon event to be held since the pandemic began. Almost all the participants on the start line today had their jabs. More than 90%. So, and many people active in running, and managers, agents, race organizers have come to Berlin and to see what Berlin can do. So we turn to the champion, and well, for some a new name, for some not. We want to welcome Guy Adola, the men's champion in the BMW Berlin Marathon, and the second placer, another really big surprise, not just the winner, but Bethwel Yegan, who took second place, and the man who took her place, Kenenisa Bekele, walking slowly. Walking slowly. It's been a tough day for Kenenisa, who's finished in third place. And also joined by Philipp Flieger, one of the leading German runners. A slow walk for some to the stage. Been a big and tough day.
Winner of the BMW Berlin Marathon this year.
Thank you.
Do you want a translation?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Better, okay. Dann übersetzen wir aus dem Amharisch. Very good. Vielleicht erstmal die Frage an Guy. Wie war das Rennen? Wie fühlt sich jetzt?
So the question for Guy Adola. Oh ja, wir wechseln jetzt wieder ins...
Translate from English to Amharisch. Did he expect to become the winner of the BMW Berlin Marathon this year? And how does he feel now?
Yaadeen turre garuu dorgommichi isaa bakka koorsii isaa bareeda waan ta'eef guyyaa tokkoon immoo waan jedhu yaada qaba malee yaadeen turre.
Yes. When I come, I willing to try to win. When before even 4 years ago, here I was number 2. I thinking one day I can win this race, and today I did it.
Very good. When he came here, ladies and gentlemen, and we talked 3 days ago, he was really self-assured here when we presented him together with Kenenisa on the podium. So great, really great day for him. And Yegon, you came in on 8th place in the Berlin Marathon before in 2019. And you already had a very successful race this year with a time of 2:08:18 in Siena.
Question for Bethwel Yegon, the runner-up today, who was 8th in the 2019.
Number 2 today.
Yeah. And but did you expect this great time and to become so much faster than
I
before?
was after time, not after position. I wanted good time, BB, but not position, and eventually I was number 2. Yes.
And were you surprised to see Kenenisa coming close to you when you surpassed him?
Yes, I was happy seeing Bekele in front of me, and I wanted to come close to Bekele so that we can push together. Yes.
And Kenenisa, I think today we saw a very, very good marathon day example that shows us not everything is calculable in the marathon racing. How was your day for you today? And congratulations, firstly, for the 3rd place and that you finished. It was a great race. And how did you see the race today?
Was a tough race. Of course, I couldn't expect this in the beginning, but and somehow before also I feel something, my preparation not 100% really going well, and especially after I have affected by COVID 8 months ago, was between sometimes, I get some struggling. So I have doubt also before the race. Maybe my preparation also not really smooth, and I expected something will happen. But of course, I tried my best to become third place. Even I'm lucky, but really I'm very tired.
Yeah, I guess so. Are you now more self-assured that you finished the race, and are you happy that you demonstrated to yourself that you can actually finish in spite of having COVID before?
Yes, really there was tough, I've tried, on training also I sometimes I got some problems, but not really training smooth. Just, I came to try.
Yeah.
But really not 100% sure about this race.
Yeah. Well, we saw a lot of problems with many runners today, and maybe another question to Guy. The second half was slower than the first half. What time would he would have liked to run in the race? Because he finished in 2:05. What was his dream time?
Onnoni fuulduri jalqabni haafiin dura baay'ee faastii ture. Kan dhumaa immoo slow ture. Akkamii sa'aatii waa'ee sa'aatii kana yaaddu maalirraa kan uumamuu akka danda'e ibsuu
kan asiin jalqaba kanan isaallee jira peesonnis bareeda deemaa turan kanan isaallee naa jiru sanitti akka osoo deemaa turre achumaan peesonni baanee jennaan dorgommichi xiqqoo peesiin nu jalaa gadi bu'e gara dhumaas ho'a nutti dhaga'ame achirraa peesii jalqabaa san fiduu dadhabne kanarraa dorgommiin haa jalqabaa saffisa ta'e inni kun peesii gadi bu'ee laafaa ta'e jechuudha. Akkasuma miti ganamas waan ta'e akkasuma miti akkuma kiiloomeetira bakka haga 21 innaa geennu oo'e kamalee dabalaa dhufe jechuudha.
Okay. So the first part we was together with Kananisa and the other athletes, and in the first half there is not much. The weather did not affect us. In the after 22 kilometers, the weather affect us too hot, and completely even we cannot push like before when even the pacemaker is become out. we cannot able to run like before in the second part of the races.
Fragen wir vielleicht mal Marc Milde, weil Marc, du warst natürlich auch mit in die Planung der Zeiten und der Pacemaker einbezogen oder hast das mitgestaltet. Wir haben gesehen, einen schnellen.
So, turning to Marc Milde. So, going through halfway in under 61 minutes, then it seemed were we on for a very fast race. Although, of course, at 17 kilometers, we saw that Kenenisa had dropped off that leading group somewhat. Do you think it was too fast? So, in the recent years, we've seen that Kenenisa, when the pace is very hard in recent years, that he likes to drop off the lead group, just hang back a little bit and then come through. Just because he drops off the lead group when it's fast tempo doesn't mean that he's down and out. So we were thinking, well, that could be a tactical move from him, from Kenenisa. And then when we saw him get back in touch, get back in contention with the lead group, and the pace dropped, getting slower, dropped by a big margin. So we could see there were things going on in that lead group, and the focus of the race changed. And we certainly hadn't reckoned with the idea of someone from the second group, such as Bethwell Yegon, should move up so much to be a threat for the top three. And in Marc Milde's memory, I've never noticed that.
Very surprised that suddenly someone who was not in his group is coming from behind and is like, moving in front. Is that because Bethwell, he was all the time in the second group and suddenly he was first? What was he thinking in that moment, that it was not Kenenisa coming back but someone else?
Dorgommii keessa osoo jettan yoo namni dura Qananiisaa wajjin turtanii mucaan duubaa yoo dhufu Qananiisaa miti ka duubaa dhufu maaltu sitti dhagahame hirrifatte moo maaliidha ka sitti dhagahame?
Ka mucaa kam?
Dhufee yoo inni sitti makamu kana maaltu?
Waan ati hin dhagamne ennaa mucaala dhufullee dorgomaa waan ta'eef waan dirreen nuu kennite qixxuma adda qoodhanna waan jedhuun ka'e ani irreeffannellee ennaan ani dhufellee garagalee laale kama dhufee na bira ga'u dhagge anaafu sapiraayizii ta'e jechuudha haalli inni dhufe hin beennellee ani kana jechuu hin danda'u isaa jechuudha.
When I see him, I also surprised, and I could not see him seeing to back. And here he arrived, I am very surprised, and I decide what the race can give to us. I decide to took what I can get. And lastly, I very surprised about him to come to join us.
Ich glaube, das Kapitel hat uns heute, oder der Marathon hat uns heute viel Demut gelernt und dass man Respekt.
Also, was saying, I think we've all had a reminder of humility when it comes to the marathon, that you never know what can happen and what it can do to you. And it's also true of the elite level. And if we have any questions from the floor, we have microphones, so please raise your hand and put a question. So Philipp Flieger, one of the leading German runners. So you don't have a PB every day. So Philip Flieger saying after just 1 hour of running, he was feeling not exactly great, not good. Two of my pacemakers had dropped out earlier than expected. So the group I was in had broken up. So for most of the latter part of the race, I was running on my own, and the temperatures were rising. So at 37K, it was all about just getting to the finish. If you look at the men's top 10 places, and most of them were 4 or 5 minutes slower than their personal best. And that's an indication of how warm and humid it was. Urs Weber just quoting the first half, 60 minutes and 48, 65:47 for the second half. That's a big difference. Was the weather a big factor for you? Or for Kenenisa, yes?
Bit faster, and really not balanced even, you know, because halfway very fast and the second half was very slow.
A lot slower.
So that shows everybody die, you know. So
Same. It was actually the same in the women's race as well. Yeah. Hier waren Zwischenfragen eben da. Einfach bitte die Hand heben, dann kommen wir mit dem Mikrofon.
So just please raise your hand if you want to put any questions. Also Glückwünsche an alle. Eine Frage für die ersten 3. Was für einen Einfluss auf die Tempomacher ihr habt? Könnt ihr sagen, bitte schneller oder langsamer? Habt ihr das versucht? Und wie beurteilt ihr die Arbeit der Tempomacher?
If someone catch follow them and continue till second half, the pace was perfect for world record pace, and maybe somehow the weather affected, but for someone who follow world record, the pacers are really perfect. They are punctual, you know. They listen, just they help. So I don't really complain them. They are really good.
Okay.
Pesi ni kuni ammam pesin dem tankun ganama fasti ta un isa kun hagam affecti sin gode hagam mida sin ranga wanti badin jira gara pesi
Pesi wani baden jiru akkuma Qananiisaan jedhe pesi bareeda deemaa turane akkuma sanitti ko innis dhiibbaan uumeera dhiyaadha. Peesonni akka deeman bareeda deeman wanna feesi irratti rakkoo hin jirre yaadu. Kanuma.
Sa'aatii kana fooyyessuudhaaf faastii ta'uun isaa hoo ganama
Atoo inni qabatu baate namni kamiyyuu haa sa'aatii makiina fuuldura waan mul'atuuf gana seenaartanii warri dhimma keessa jirtanii jedhee mul'isa beekta. Isa laalaa nulli silaan jabeanna wanti nu daangesse akkuma jennu isa asanii wal qabate sa'aatii fooyyessuu illee hin dandeenye isa kana yaada.
in pace, the pacer did what the perfect thing is. They thinking also about this world pace, world record paces. They did what race organizer giving to them, and I did not complain about pacemaker, but even the organization in front of us, we see how fast we run, how can we finish the races. Everything is information we got there, but we cannot able to continue like before, as first halfway. We cannot able to continue. By that case, the weather affect us to run faster than this what we run today.
Interessante Beobachtung. More questions? Further questions? Weitere Fragen? Wir hatten hier eine und hier beide.
Any more questions, please?
For Kenenisa Bekele. Kenenisa, after this race, you're going to go back to the training. How long do you think it will take for you to catch up with your former level from before the pandemics? And how confident are you could run again for the world record in the future?
Of course, I need some time to prepare. To be honest, my preparation for marathon not really long. I never take long preparation for marathon. Even last 2 years ago, only I prepared like 3 months before. This is to run really marathon fast. It's not enough time. I have planned to train maybe long time, and my plan is not only for world record, before my retirement, I want to try even further than a world record. So if everything going well, I want to do better thing, in the future. So I'm really confident to do that, and I have capacity to do that because I know my problems. Maybe for every competition, not enough training because short preparation between. Sometimes I injured, I break, and train again. This is affecting my performance, but really I want to take a long time and see what's going on. I know I'm really confident in my capacity.
Great answer. Are there more questions? Here in the front row. Great answer, Kenenisa. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's long-term planning.
I want to catch up on this, Kenenisa. You said you not only want to break the world record, so I guess you want to break the world record, and you do want to do something on top of that. What would that be, please?
Of course, everybody talking about sub 2 hours, and why not? One day I will try this. I will try out doing hard work. Of course, I knew it needs hard work, and it take long time. So as my, I know I feel confident, in my capacity. So let's do and see what's going on.
Fantastic. Weitere Fragen?
Other questions, please. Otherwise, I was going to ask Philip Flieger what your plans you have for this year. You showed very good form on the shorter distances in Berlin this year. What do you have new plans? So I'm actually pretty happy Flieger saying that from the result today, that at least my body responded well. So my recovery phase will be 2 or 3 weeks. So my next big target, Philip Flieger says, would be a marathon early next year, spring marathon. So all the best, Philip. So we're just looking around. We're expecting to have the women on stage very shortly. In 5 minutes. So just chatting with Mark Milder, saying the very impressive times considering the weather on the women's race, the results. So, yeah, Mark Milder saying hats off to the women for the consistency of their times on a very hot day. So we're going to be having the women, the leading women's champion and others on stage very shortly. Congratulations, everybody. Ja, Glückwunsch alle. Wir wollen euch wieder